Hello again, everyone. So this is part 2 of the video blog update for you guys. Because it's been so long, I figured that I would kind of break these apart into 2 smaller segments. And I know especially because Facebook doesn't like to play videos or upload videos that are longer than like 10 minutes, I think. So I figured I'd split them up, and then I'm going to put them on YouTube so you guys can see them. So check out my YouTube channel for all my video blogging, and yeah, get an idea of what I've been doing. So like in the last video, we talked a little bit about Penfield and how that wrapped up, and how happy I was with where I finished, and then we also kind of talked about my job search, and how I applied for many jobs. Actually, I think it was over 30 jobs over the course of those, over the course of that month. And so, sorry. And I also said I had 2 interviews. In the second interview, I was actually offered the job on the spot. So I kind of took some time to think about what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be. And so eventually I decided that LaGrange and Prairie Heights schools was where I wanted to be. So I called and I accepted the position, and I showed up just a few days later. It was the Wednesday where I shadowed the substitute for the day to kind of get a sense of the schedule and get a sense of what they've been learning and where I should go with it, with the position. So again, I accepted the position and shadowed the sub. We went around. First, my schedule is like this. I start out in the morning, and I have a homeroom that has maybe about 10 kids in it. Then I have my first hour, which is the high school choir, which they break up into 2 hours, the first hour and the last hour of the day. So I have chorus, I guess, part 1, first hour, and that's 7 students, so very small group, but very cool that I get to be kind of that detailed with each student, and that close, I guess. I'm careful to use that word, but I can get that close with those students. And then I go off to the middle school, which I have about 30 minutes to get from the high school to the middle school, and that includes my prep. So really my prep is only about 20 minutes long. Most teachers get about a full hour. So every minute I'm kind of at a disadvantage where I'm losing 40 minutes of prep every day. So I do a lot of my prep outside of the school day, and I try to do most on the weekends, but it's hard because I'm trying to develop a full semester's worth of curriculum, as I go, as opposed to over the summer, which is what I would rather be doing. But it's okay, and I'm managing fairly well. So again, first hour of the day, high school choir, then I move to the middle school with prep, and then I have my 5th grade class. They're a great class. They're pretty high energy, but I would say they're acting developmentally appropriate to how old they are. So they're doing pretty well, and they're advancing pretty well. I like to see where they're at, and there's some definite developing musicians in that class. So I'd like to see where they are in the coming years when they can start signing up for choir and things like that. So next hour I have 8th grade, which is about 20 students, and they're really cool. They're a fantastic group, very talented, especially my soprano section. Biggest section in the room, and the definite musical leaders are in that section. Some of my students take piano lessons, and they maybe were in band, but they're a good group, and I'm really getting them singing. They're kind of like the rest of my groups. They are used to being taught by rote, and I refuse to teach that way. I think there's a different way and a better process to learning music than to me play a part and you learn it that way, or me sing you the part and you repeat it back to me. That's and I've had many sort of heart-to-heart moments with them that I'm not going to teach you that way. I have a different process, I have a different way of doing things, and I'm going to teach you how to be musicians and independent singers, as opposed to spoon-feeding you the material. I went to college way too long, and I know, I've worked way too hard at this point just to sing you the part and you sing it back. I'm not going to do that. So some are having difficulties with that, and I think 8th grade is no exception to that rule, where they, and I think it's mostly my altos, they really want to, that's how they want to learn the part, especially because they have the lower harmony, and they really want to sing the soprano part. And if they hear the soprano part, that's where they go. So again, it's about developing them as independent musicians and getting them away from, and developing their ears so that in a way they can sing their own part while hearing another part and fusing it together. And so far it's been successful. We've been learning some music with them, and they've really been able to kind of adapt to this, and they're willing to learn it, and that's the most important thing. So yeah, 8th grade, loving it. Only 2 boys though. We'll keep working on that. Next I have a lunch, teachers shortened lunch period, about 27 minutes, I think there's 30 minutes maybe, but that's okay, because my next class is my 7th grade. Now they're a smaller group, 7 students in that class, which is 2 boys, 5 girls. So they're kind of the same way, that they'd rather be taught by rote, but they're also different in the fact that this is their first semester or first year in choir, so they're still kind of on the general music track. They want to be taught like 6th graders were learning, because they were there last year and they've only been in general classes. Well, now they're in choir, but they're kind of still at that level where they want to just get up and dance and play games and have fun and watch movies and watch YouTube. And so I've now kind of started to fuse at the beginning of class a little bit of what I'm doing in my general classes in my 5th and 6th grade into 7th grade, to kind of get them into class and get them doing fun activities. And then we hit it with warm-up, and we hit it with theory corner, and we go with musical rehearsal, and trying to get them to not think about learning choral music as such a chore, because I think that's where they're at. And I'm treating them more like 8th graders than 6th graders, because at the concert they'll not only be joining 8th grade for some pieces, they're joining high school for some pieces, and that's kind of difficult for them. So my next class of the day is my 6th grade, general music, and I'm having some issues right now with them as far as classroom management. Some days I do the same thing with 5th grade as I do 6th grade, because I think developmentally I'll plan for 6th grade, but I also know that this particular group of 5th grade students can do what 6th grade is doing, even though developmentally they're a year apart, and a very crucial year apart. I think that my 5th grade group can do a lot of the things my 6th grade group can do. So, but classroom management is an issue right now, and I'm still trying to get the gist of things and how they work. But as far as disciplinary wise, but I think things are kind of getting better, and as long as I have them active and doing things, then they'll be fine. Like this week, I had them do a project involving beatboxing and body percussion, and I had them get in bands, and they composed a song, or they picked a song they already know, and then someone sang it while someone did a vocal percussion and someone else did a body percussion to it. So they kind of had to coordinate it that way, and they seem to like it. A select few refuse to do it, but that's just disciplinary again, and that'll affect their grade, and they know that. So that's kind of where 6th grade is. And then the next class, I go back to the high school and teach, I guess, the second part of my choir day, of my high school choir. So, and that's about 12 students. So again, quite a bit smaller, but my larger of the 2 high school groups, they're not as disciplined as the first hour high school group, but they're coming along, and they're having some hard times with hearing harmonies and being able to decipher intervals and things like that, but I think we'll get them to the point where that'll be kind of second nature after a little while. So that's kind of what my day it looks like. High school choir, plan, 5th grade general music, 8th grade choir, lunch, 7th grade choir, 6th grade general music, and then back to the high school for high school choir. So I'm over, I think it's about 110 students right now total. So it's quite the workload. And then on top of all of that, I'm also helping out with the musical 4 days a week after school. I do it Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Even though this past week we've had some snow and ice days, so it's kind of put us off. We didn't have school today, and we had sort of an early dismissal yesterday where all activities after school got canceled. And then we also had a snow day this past Friday. So we're kind of getting behind because of the weather, but we'll learn to adapt because that's what we have to do in theater and in music. So we'll figure it out. But things are going pretty well. More updates to come on all this. I know it's been this is a long clip, but I did want to give a good representation of what we've been doing, and I hope to in later clips talk about more detail, like lesson plans, because some of the lesson plans I really like, in especially general music. We did film music before. We've done Jamaican music and Japanese music. So, but I will end it here for now, and just say thank you guys very much for your support. I appreciate it. I love you all, and I will see you later. Bye.